The Backrooms Files is a fictional archive documenting no-clipping events, missing persons, classified investigations, and recovered evidence connected to the backrooms. The series covers entry zones, backrooms levels, entities, survivor accounts, expeditions, recovered artifacts, and the formation of async as it investigates, explores, and attempts to understand the endless labyrinth beyond reality. Case 13, Frank Delaney, 1974. Municipal construction site disappearance file. Frank Delaney was a construction foreman overseeing the expansion of a government office complex. The unfinished structure consisted of exposed concrete floors, temporary lighting, and partially framed interior walls. Workers had filed unusual reports during the previous month, tape measures giving conflicting distances, hallways appearing longer after lunch breaks, and unfinished rooms not matching the morning's layout. These discrepancies were attributed to ongoing construction. At 6:42 a.m., Delaney began a routine inspection before the rest of the crew arrived. On the third floor, he discovered a hollow section of concrete wall that had passed inspection the previous afternoon. Knocking against it produced a deep echo, despite structural plans showing solid reinforced concrete behind it. Believing a void had formed during the pour, he removed a temporary plywood panel covering the section. Behind it was not an equipment cavity, it was a hallway. The corridor extended straight ahead beneath uniform fluorescent lighting that had no visible wiring. Beige drywall replaced unfinished concrete almost immediately beyond the opening. Industrial carpet covered the floor despite no flooring having been installed anywhere in the building. At 6:51 a.m., Delaney radioed site management. "There's another corridor behind the wall. This isn't on the plans." Assuming he had discovered an unfinished service passage, he entered to investigate. After approximately 2 minutes of walking, he realized the hallway should have exited the building entirely. Instead, it continued. Every 50 meters, another unfinished doorway appeared, each opening into rooms framed with exposed studs that were identical down to every nail placement and pencil marking. At 7:03 a.m., Delaney attempted to return. The opening in the concrete wall was gone. Behind him stretched another identical corridor. He marked the drywall with red construction spray paint. Within minutes, every hallway intersection bore the same paint markings, weathered in exactly the same way. The environment was duplicating itself. At 7:15 a.m., radio transmissions became increasingly fragmented. "I found the break room." Pause. "No, it's another one." Minutes later, "Every room is waiting to be finished, but none of them ever are." Body microphone audio captured distant hammering, power saws, and crew conversations. None belonged to workers present on site. The sounds remained constantly ahead, never growing closer, regardless of direction traveled. At 7:24 a.m., Delaney entered what appeared to be the building's central corridor. Instead of connecting completed sections together, it branched into countless unfinished hallways disappearing beneath endless fluorescent lights. New walls slowly appeared where open spaces had existed moments earlier, silently framing additional corridors that extended beyond sight. The structure no longer resembled a construction project, it resembled an infinite building perpetually under construction. At 7:31 a.m., his final transmission was received. "The building is building itself. Every hallway I finish leads to another one." The radio emitted continuous static mixed with distant metallic impacts before falling silent. Emergency crews arrived less than 10 minutes later. The plywood panel remained secured over a solid concrete wall. Core samples confirmed no cavity had ever existed behind it. No trace of Delaney or his equipment was recovered. In the years that followed, workers assigned to later renovations occasionally reported hearing faint hammering inside finished walls. Several claimed fresh pencil measurements and chalk layout lines would appear overnight on completed drywall before disappearing by morning. The incident was classified as a recursive construction zone, a backrooms phenomenon in which unfinished architecture continuously expands, creating an endless network of incomplete rooms and corridors that can never reach completion. Status: Frank Delaney unrecovered. Office complex, intermittent structural anomalies. Classification: active backrooms entry node, recursive construction type,